Hello, I am Madam Gracious Kanzini from Educare, Tanzania. Warmly welcome in our best media, my online students, and I'm here in front of you so as we can run on our chemistry subject, and our class level is Form 3. My online student, here in our discussion, we're gonna to look on the revision questions, and our topic for those revision is compound of metal part 1. This is Form 3 topic, na hii ni topic ya mwisho kabisa ya kidato cha 3. So in this compound of metal, obvious in this level we're going to look on the compounds of oxide, hydroxide, hydrogen carbonate, as well as compound of carbonates. So for today, we're going to see the question in the exercise number 9.2. Exercise 9.1 we have already discussed it, so make sure unakuwa na good follow up so as you can benefit all discussed question. So today we are going to start the exercise number 9.2. These questions are found in your book, so make sure una pass through there. But once you meet any misunderstanding, any challenge, any difficulty, here at Educare TZ there is the solutions. So here we are going to discuss the question in general, but we are going to see those responses. So our question in number 1, it states that amphoteric hydroxide react with the both acids and alkalis. Kwamba amphoteric hydroxide zina sifa ya kureact with both acidic and alkalis. So A anakuambia give 3 examples of amphoteric hydroxide. So you should know what are those amphoteric hydroxide. Tutaenda kuona nini maana amphoteric, na I hope kama umesha cover vizuri hii topic utakuwa upo aware kuhusiana na hydroxide, itakuwa ni rahisi kwako kujibu hili swali kwa uzuri kabisa. Part B of our question is that write equations to show the reactions between each of the 3 metal hydroxides with dilute nitric acid and excess sodium hydroxide solution. So the question have 2 directions. Umepewa dilute nitric acid lakini pia excess sodium hydroxide. Lakini pia ukaambiwa ushow au write equation kuonyesha kwamba reaction between each of the 3 metal. Select the 3 metal of your own, ambazo hizo metal lazima ziwe ni metal of hydroxide. Na hizo metal of hydroxide, when they react with the dilute nitric acid, what are we going to get? But also when they react with the excess sodium hydroxide solution, what are the products? So that is our question part B. Now my online student, let us go through our responses. Okay, so in our response, typical we are going to start with the part A, whereby we are required to provide the examples of amphoteric hydroxide. So on your side, or just to remind yourself, what is amphoteric oxide? When we talk about amphoteric, what does it mean? So the amphoteric hydroxide are compounds that can react with both acids and bases. So once we say something is amphoteric, kinakuwa na dual property, means that kina play both sides. Can react with acids, but at the same time this compound tend to react with the bases. Hiyo ndo amphoteric. For instance, tukisema amphoteric hydroxide ina maana ni zile hydroxide ambazo zitareact na acid, pia zitareact with the zitakuwa zina exhibit property ya kureact with the acid as well as the base. Okay, therefore 3 common examples of amphoteric hydroxide include the following. This is our question now. Tuliambiwa to provide the 3 examples ambazo zina play part of the amphoteric hydroxide. Therefore we have aluminium hydroxide. This is amphoteric, mean that can can able to react with the acid, but at the same time ina play part pia katika base. Another is zinc hydroxide. Compound zake ni hizi huku, chemical formula zake ni hizi huku. Sina umuhimu wa kwanza ku describe how to write this because usha cover his concept toka upo kidato cha kwanza, how to write the chemical formula of these compounds. But also we have the lead 2 hydroxide. Lead 2 hydroxide. So these are some of the 3 common examples of amphoteric hydroxide. I hope kuna nyingine tena. So because of our question, it's needed to provide only 3, but on your own make sure you go far. Furthermore, make sure you try to make more revision concerning this, kwa sababu swali lingine unaweza ukaulizwa hata udili na mifano 4, 5, whatever. So make sure unakuwa na another example more than these 3. Okay, now simply let us start our part B of our question. And our part B of our question simply tumepewa dilute nitric acid lakini pia na excess sodium hydroxide solution. Sasa zikireact na hizo metal, what will happen? So here we are required to deal with the reaction with the dilute nitric acid and excess sodium hydroxide. Kwa hiyo one metal kama ni lead tutaiangalia, je, lead ikireact na dilute nitric acid tunaenda kupata kitu gani? Okay, at the same time lead ikireact na this excess sodium hydroxide tunaenda kupata kitu gani? What will be observed? So simply to illustrate the amphoteric nature of this hydroxide, and you are required to note that part A na part B zina relate to each other. Part A tumeambiwa tutoe mifano ambayo ina play part ya amphoteric hydroxide. Sasa part B tumepewa sasa hizo nature zenyewe. Tumepewa nitric acid, this is acid, lakini pia tumepewa excess sodium hydroxide solution, hii ni base. Kwa hiyo metal ikireact na acid at the same time ikireact na hiyo base, hapa tunataka tufanye illustration au to demonstrate the concept of amphoteric nature. Kwa hiyo tunasema kwamba to illustrate the amphoteric nature of these hydroxides, we will write the chemical equation for the reaction with dilute nitric acid and excess sodium hydroxide solution. So once we react, this is how we can able to demonstrate how to illustrate the amphoteric nature. Kwa hiyo compound element moja itareact 2 times. Tutareactisha na nitric acid, at the same time tutareactisha na excess sodium hydroxide solution. Okay, simply let us start with the reaction of aluminium hydroxide with the dilute nitric acid. Aluminium hydroxide with the dilute nitric acid. Kumbuka hizi ushazi mention as a part of the amphoteric hydroxide. Kwa hiyo tunatembea nazo. Okay, this one tumesema aluminium hydroxide ina play part in both acid and can react with the acid, at the same time can react with the base ambayo ina play part ya amphoteric. Sasa tunakuja ku demonstrate au ku write the equation ambayo ita take place once we react it with acid. So you can see that when aluminium hydroxide reacts with the dilute nitric acid, it behaves as a base. Sasa huyu aluminium hydroxide endapo atafanya reaction with the nitric acid, on that time yeye atareact kama base compound. So you can see that this one aluminium hydroxide ana react with the nitric acid, tunaenda kupata aluminium nitrate, but also we are going to have the water molecule. Kwa hiyo hapa aluminium hydroxide ameact as what? As a base compound. Lakini tutaenda kuona tena endapo atareact na excess sodium hydroxide, hata act kama base tena, hata act kama acid. So here you can see that kwenye hii reaction ya aluminium hydroxide and nitric acid tunasema kwamba in this reaction aluminium hydroxide is neutralized by nitric acid to form aluminium nitrate and water, kama unavyoona ilivyoonyeshwa hapa kwenye reaction. Na kumbuka amekuambia with the equation. uandike. Kwa hiyo hautamwambia tu kwamba hapa aluminium hydroxide anact kama base and hapo ana react na nitric acid, but you have to show the reaction like this. Kwa hiyo unaonyesha reaction yako, then simply unaonyesha kwamba the aluminium hydroxide imekuwa neutralized, kwa sababu always react or mix acid and base, we make a neutralization. Finally tunakuja kupata aluminium nitrate, lakini tunaenda kupata water molecule. Okay, but the reaction of aluminium hydroxide with the excess sodium hydroxide. Sasa hapa tuone sasa this aluminium hydroxide itakavyo play part yake. It's a play part as the acid or base. You can see that when aluminium hydroxide react with the excess sodium hydroxide, it behave as an acid. Na hii mpaka hapo tuna prove kwamba this is amphoteric compound. Sasa kule ilivyo react na nitric acid imeact as a base, lakini hapa ina act as a acid. So let us see. This one is the aluminium hydroxide. It may react with the OH. OH ina simplify au inaonyesha the base solution, kwa sababu tulikuwa na excess sodium hydroxide ikidissociate, tunakuja kupata sodium ion with the hydroxyl ion. Kwa hiyo hii hydroxyl ion ina demonstrate the base solution. Kwa hiyo hapa aluminium hydroxide ina act kama acid. Hence tunaenda kupata hii hapa compound ambayo ni aluminium hydroxide, lakini hii imekuwa in term of complex. Tunapata complex compound, this one tunaita aluminate ion. So here aluminium hydroxide dissolves in excess sodium hydroxide to form the aluminate ion. So we are going to have this as our product. Kwa hiyo utakuja kuona kwamba the product the same compound, lakini ilipo act as a acid tulipata matokeo mengine, ilipo react as a base tumepata pia matokeo mengine. So this demonstrates the nature of amphoteric. Kwa hiyo aluminium hydroxide ni amphoteric compound, na ukireactisha na nitric acid ina act as a base, lakini ukireactisha na excess sodium hydroxide ina act as a acid. So that is all about our question. So now twende tukaone another example. Kumbuka tulikuwa tumedeal na 3 examples. Another one is the reaction of zinc hydroxide with the dilute nitric acid. Zinc hydroxide with dilute nitric acid. So here zinc na yenyewe tunatoka to demonstrate au to illustrate the nature of the amphoteric. Kwamba je, zinc hydroxide tumesema ana play part of the amphoteric, ana act as a acid at the same time ana act as a base. How? We have to prove by writing the equation considering the given guideline, which is nitric acid as well as excess sodium hydroxide. Therefore, let us start with the zinc hydroxide with dilute hydrochloric acid. So zinc hydroxide also reacts with the dilute nitric acid as a base. Kwa hiyo zinc hydroxide act as a base once it reacts with the dilute nitric acid. Particularly, you can see here, this is our equation. This is zinc hydroxide. This is 2 mole of nitric acid. We are going to have zinc nitrate and 2 water molecule. Na ukiandika equation, make sure imebalance. Make sure the reactant and the product side, each atom, each element are balanced. Ukishaambiwa uandike tu chemical equation, make sure una follow hizo condition, lakini pia make sure you show the states of matters, kwamba ni liquid, ni gas, ni solid and so forth. So here as you see, zinc hydroxide react with nitric acid. Tumeenda kupata zinc nitrate and water. So this reaction produces zinc nitrate and water. Produce zinc nitrate and water molecule. But now let us see the reaction of the zinc hydroxide with the excess sodium hydroxide. Kwamba pale ambapo zinc ana react with the excess sodium hydroxide ana act as the acid or base. So you can see that in the presence of excess sodium hydroxide, zinc hydroxide acts as an acid. So once the zinc hydroxide ana react with the excess sodium hydroxide, ata act kama acid. Why acid? Utakuja kuona kwamba here obvious kwenye excess sodium hydroxide tuna hii hydroxyl ion, kwa hiyo zinc nitrate ata react with this OH, tutaenda kupata the same ions ambayo tuna hii compound tutaenda kupata hii compound ambayo pia yenyewe ipo katika complex compound. Sasa umeona product tulizozipata huyu zinc hydroxide alivyo act as a base ni different na product ambayo tumeipata alivyo act as an acid. So this is how we can demonstrate the amphoteric, but also let us see the reaction of lead to hydroxide. Lead to hydroxide. Huyu lead to hydroxide pia tunatakiwa tumdemonstrate in both side. Aweze kuact as a acid lakini pia aweze kuact as a base ili tuweze kuillustrate the nature of amphoteric. So here you can see that the lead hydroxide reacts similar to the previous example when treated with dilute nitric acid. Kwa hiyo na yeye atafanya reaction kama reaction nyingine tulizoziona katika zinc, katika aluminium. Kwa sababu hapa anapo react with dilute nitric acid anakuwa ana play part of base, ana play part of base condition. Kwa hiyo ana act as a base compound, then ana react na nitric acid, tunaenda kupata lead nitrate, lakini pia tunaenda kupata water molecule. But also reaction of the lead hydroxide with the excess sodium hydroxide. So hapa the final lead to hydroxide also react as an acid in the presence of excess sodium hydroxide. So the lead to nitrate katika excess ya sodium hydroxide solution ana act as an acid, wakati kwenye dilute nitric acid tumeona ame act kama base. Kwa hiyo mpaka hapo ina illustrate or ina demonstrate the nature of the amphoteric compound. So simply utaona kwamba huyu lead nitrate ata react with this OH hydroxide ambayo it is from the excess sodium hydroxide compound. Na akireact hapa tutapata pia complex compound ambayo ipo in form of ions, this one. Kwa hiyo hii ndo simple meaning of amphoteric nature ambayo ina show that the compound react with as an acid lakini at the same time as an base. So in summary, simply you can say that all three amphoteric metal hydroxides ambapo tuliona aluminium, zinc and lead react with the both acids and bases. Therefore this demonstrating their amphoteric properties through this chemical reaction. Kwa hiyo tumeona kwamba hizi elements zote aluminium, zinc na lead zote zikiact as the what? I mean this element zikiwa katika hydroxides, ina maana tunaongelea aluminium hydroxide, zinc hydroxide as well as lead hydroxide. So you can see that zote zina play part of reacting as a base lakini pia as an acid. Na hii ina demonstrate the meaning of amphoteric nature. So ina maana kwa namna nyingine hili swali ulitakiwa unapo suggest zile mifano za amphoteric compound, part B uje kuprove with their equation. Unaona product ni tofauti kabisa. Compound ni moja lakini once inapo act as a base tunapata product zake. The same apply inapo act as a acid tunaenda kupata another product. So that is what you are required to do, my student, and I need you to make more revision toward this concept, but also make sure you listen it, you make a summary a lot, you will master all of them. And then after saying so, I would like to say this marks the end of our session for today. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for watching. Keep a good follow-up in our media, Educare TZ, for more videos, and this will help you in your academic. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a nice moment.